Reality recap.
Hi, Evelyn. Yes, I know you have the reunion. Yes, we have 2 more episodes. And then we have the reunion, of course.
I look like the slay. I look like a mom. She was like, you the one that look like you got a high body count hair. I fell the fuck out, y'all.
Candace, has Deborah reached out to you to apologize after the episode aired showing Chris did not flirt with her?
She wouldn't dare. She would get eaten for breakfast.
Oh boy.
No, she's doubling down.
Why would you go meet with Ray J without talking to Princess or letting her know why? Like, she's trying to justify that she told her after the fact and not supposed to make it.
What do you think of your ex-husband Jim coming out and saying you did not try to stop him from suing Shannon and Cameron?
That's a good question. Well, I mean, if his memory is a little foggy about what transpired back then, that's okay. However, he did admit that I had nothing to do with the
Reality recap. Reality recap.
What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. It's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another Tea Talk sesh. And today we are covering Saturday's episode of Love Marriage Huntsville, which was part 1 of the 3-part reunion from the previous season, season 5. I want to make sure that we cover the tea. But before we do, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you do not miss any of my recaps on the happening reality TV shows. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, where you can get all the latest reality gossip in these streets. All right. Now, as I said, we're covering Love and Marriage Huntsville reunion part 1. This is a 3-part reunion. The next part will air on next Saturday. And this is for season 5. Now, before we get into a recap of the reunion, I just want to talk about the reunion looks. I didn't really like anybody's. Mel looked good as always. I just felt like the bra, I just wanted it to, just like I need mines to do, I wanted the boobs to be pushed up a little bit more. They were down like that. I just wanted them to be pushed up a little bit more. Tisha irked me the most. The white beaded gown, it was giving wedding reception. When she was talking to Martell and shaking her hand, I saw beads falling off. I don't know if y'all clocked that. See, the white sheer stockings, the opening in the middle, you could see her like pasty nude bra. I just wasn't a fan of it. Miss Nell and the matching prom suit with Fletcher, I didn't like it, guys. I don't know. You let me know in the comments what you think, but I just did not like, she looked stuffed in it, uncomfortable. I was like, that's why they sitting over there not saying nothing, because she can't hardly breathe. But and then the matching pearls of the orange goldish look on Fletcher's jacket. I wasn't really feeling it. I did like Kimmy's hair. I liked Kimmy's hair, but her dress, the velvet, you're in Jacksonville. It's hot all the time. I just didn't know the velvet, and it was giving seashell look at the top. I don't know what was going on with Destiny. Destiny, I mean, it was a little red number. I don't know if that was her original dress. I know Carlos seemed very annoyed with her because she kind of caused them to be behind, because she said her dress was damaged. And I'm thinking, well, what was the damage? Can we see it? Because shouldn't your stylist have an emergency kit for stuff like that? I don't know. So she had to wait for another dress from a showroom. I don't know. So I guess by default it was all right because that wasn't her original dress, maybe, but I just didn't like it. Everybody with the blonde hair, Miss Nell's hair looked okay. Um, Mel's hair with the blunt bob, that was cool. But I didn't like Destiny's blonde hair. Letitia, I was about to call her Latricia, but Ken and Tisha didn't come out on this episode. But even see, I didn't like the blonde hair on her. I don't know. I just was underwhelmed with these reunion looks. Mel, like I said, Mel did look good. I just wanted it to push her up a little bit more. But outside of that, everybody else was just womp womp. But loved Kimmy's hair. Loved her hair. Loved the updo. It looked very youthful on her. I loved it. But I don't know. I was just distracted the entire time by Tisha's pearls falling off and those stockings. It was just screaming, I'm on the second pew with the deaconesses. I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it, y'all. But anyhow, those are my thoughts. Also, on the host, Uncle Carlos King, I felt like he did his thing, guys. He was funny, shady. Just the thing that he said to Destiny, like, oh, you lost the earring, you lose your earring like you lose your men. And just the shadiness he had, the jokes, even when he was going back and forth with Kimmy. We'll get into it, how Kimmy was going at him and he was giving it back like, oh, okay, that's what we doing. So did you get a burrito or a slushie from 7-Eleven? But I just thought he was shady and funny and entertaining. Kudos to Uncle Carlos King. He made it even better. I think it was a first good part one. I saw some people in the comments saying they didn't like it. I did. I was cracking up the entire time, slash confused, but I enjoyed it and I look forward to the next two parts of the reunion. So we spent a lot of time on this first part talking to Martell and honestly watching him talk in circles. You know, they asked if he was jealous of Tisha and Marcel, seeing them become this power couple when he doesn't have that anymore with Mel, which we all know the answer to that is yes, but he skated around and said, no, I'm not jealous and I ain't rooting for them, but I ain't rooting to see them fail either. Like he said he's not jealous. I think, you know, it's clear that he wished that was him and Mel and he messed up, but not really willing to admit that yet. And the conversation went into, you know, his relationship with Marceau and Marceau bringing up the whole harassing communications charges that Martell received and why, which is because of an alleged video. And right there, Martell stopped him like, what video? Did you see a video? But it's like, you know, he's like I said, it was a lot of talking in circles, trying to make you read between the lines, which ultimately all meant that he was guilty of what he did. But did you see a video? Ain't no video. If there's no video, then how did you get a screenshot of a video? That's what I'm saying. Like he wanted to make it clear that, you know, again, the semantics of it all instead of just owning up and taking accountability. So he was talking about there was no video because in the text was just a screenshot. It was like you had to like follow the mind games and he was really spinning, if you ask me. So we get into that and he says that, you know, Carlos asked really clear questions, in my opinion. He asked him, you know, what did you send? What was in the message? He, you know, recalled what he sent in the text message, something along the lines of, you know, stop bullying me or you know, I'm going to start or having your friends bully me. I'm going to start treating you like you treat me. He's saying that, from what I gather, he's saying that that was all that was brought up in his harassing communications case. Although Melody says it was that text with an attachment of a screenshot where it was seemingly, he didn't outright say in the text message, to be fair, that he would send it out to anyone or this is what he was going to use to, you know, treat her like he felt she was treating him, but it alluded to the fact, right? You send this almost like threatening text message, you have this screenshot attached when you send it. So it was alluding to the fact that he would send that out and try to make like, you know, Mel was with another man while they were married. And again, that's the type of stuff that he was holding on to, that there wasn't no actually video. It was a screenshot. That screenshot wasn't a part of his case. And um he was only charged or talked about in the court case was the pieces or the sentences of the text message. And Melanie set this, you know, record straight, saying that, you know, he had already admitted to it on a podcast. She's not really sure why they were talking about it. But, you know, they asked, you know, Carlos asked Martell, did he plead guilty? No, I didn't. Oh, no, was he found guilty? No. And the semantics of that was that he actually pled guilty. And, you know, Mel had to explain that because he was saying, ask her what the text message say, ask her. But then he would get upset when Carlos would ask her, okay, so was he found guilty? And then they say, well, he wasn't found guilty. He pled guilty, but is now appealing it. Oh my God, you're so low, Mel. You're not explaining it right. So why don't you explain it? He's giving you the platform. He's giving you the opportunity to explain yourself, explain your side, and you keep telling him to ask her, then getting upset when she explains what she knows. So I don't know if he needed a lawyer present so that he can clearly speak on what happened, but ultimately from the paperwork, it does look like he pled guilty and he's looking to appeal that. I don't know what else there is to say about it. I just really want Martell to take accountability, right? And just say, listen, you know what? I thought that what I was doing was okay. And I got caught. Melanie decided to leave. And I went down kicking and screaming. I didn't want her to go. I didn't want to lose her. And I did my best to make her life hell while going through this divorce period. And I went to the lowest of the lows. I take responsibility for that. And let's move on. Even if he didn't cop to it or that part, just, overall, if you take a look at Martell and how he's been doing Tisha and Marceau online, I can only imagine in that small snippet of him interviewing this non-credible woman that says that she was with Marceau with no receipts. Him then posting pictures over and over again of different men or groups of men and blocking out their face and saying, yeah, Tisha slept with this one, that one, disrespecting Marceau's wife. If he would go to those great lengths over and over and over again on Instagram and public for Tisha and Marceau, I can only imagine the lengths that he went through to really make Mel's life a living hell and make this divorce process just a very difficult thing for anyone to navigate. And he just needs to take accountability for that. He needs to sit and deal with how he messed up and lost his family and move on from it. But he's trying to still act like this young teenage boy. I ain't hurt. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm good. I'm good. But your actions speak otherwise. Now, Mel did take to Instagram over the weekend, announcing that she would be leaving the show. I wish her all the best. I really do. She then had a very successful TikTok sale of new scents of body oils and I think scrubs for Valentine's Day. She had the most views of a TikTok sale in I think TikTok history, thanks to Hey Millie Chun for providing that information. She even brought some of the products, but I definitely think that her future's bright, right? And even the day after, she said she slept like a baby. She thanked her mom. She could only imagine her going through, they were dragging her mom into stuff over the past few seasons before and all of those things. So she can move on. She's set up for success. She has a very, multiple successful businesses in the real estate realm, in the consumer realm with her, her t-shirts, her leggings, her cosmetic products. And I really hope the best for her. The toxic side of me, guys, not even going to play. I look forward to, if the rumors are really true, that Ariane or Coleslaw, aka Coleslaw, some of y'all like to call her, so she's the side. The streets are saying allegedly she will start filming, and I look forward to that. I do. Their relationship, from what I saw in that interview with that not credible woman, seems very, very toxic. And I love a good toxic drama couple. I'm interested in seeing their dynamic, and I'm interested to see, or I pretty much know he gonna play her, because how you get him is how you lose him. So I would be interested in that, because she was getting real bold on the internet this weekend as well. Talking, oh, when them tables turn, you gotta eat shit just like I had to. Girl, you put the shit on the table, so eat it up, eat it up. So I don't know if the rumors are true, but allegedly she's going to start filming, and I'm here for it. It seems like there would be a leeway for her. Miss Nell doesn't care. She'll film with anybody. She filmed with Sunny. She'll pick up a friend for the drama. You also have Kimmy, who is seemingly upset with Mel. So I look forward to it. I ain't gonna hold you. I really do. So we'll see. But I just wanted Martell to take accountability, which we know he's not gonna do. But it's like let's get off of this subject for real. So he made absolutely no sense. He had everybody's head spinning. All of us was just looking at the camera like, huh? Or looking at the TV like, what? What are you talking about? So enough of that. There was also conversation on the first part of the reunion with Mel and before we get to Mel and Kimmy, duh, how can I forget? Carlos, very distinct, clear questions for Maurice on his DUI. Where were you coming from? You know, was somebody else with you? Was Kimmy the last woman you was with? He had very clear, straightforward questions for Maurice. And I feel like Maurice just did the lawyer thing to do. He answered what he could. It's a case. Ultimately, I felt like Kimmy was covering for her husband, as she should, right? That's her husband. We would probably do the same. But do I believe the story that they provided that they were together? They went, they were together at Black. They had separate cars. They left. And in between going home, they met up together at Credit One or no longer Credit One for some paperwork. And then Kimmy went home and he got stopped traveling home. I don't believe that. And not even that he got stopped, right? Because Carlos asked another clear question. Did you run into a pole? He said yes. So from him leaving there and running into a pole, I don't know. And I did hear, thank you, Toria, one of my lawyer followers, sent me to the documents that showed that the case was dismissed or thrown out. So it does seem like, there's some truth to the story. But do I believe that he was on his way home, being that he wasn't booked until, or Kimmy didn't find out till noon the next day? I don't necessarily believe that. I believe there was something else going on in between that. Can't say if he's messing with someone else or he would had another woman with him. I personally didn't look at his mugshot and see lipstick on his collar, on his face. I didn't personally look at the mugshots and say, yeah, that is lipstick, or I see lipstick. I didn't. But something's not right, if that makes any sense. I just feel like something's being omitted or Kimmy's doing some covering up for him that could have ultimately led to this case being thrown out. I don't know, but we'll learn more in the next season because he, pretty lawyer-like with his answers and what he could, answering what he want and saying legally he can't answer what he couldn't. So that segued into a conversation about, how he felt about what people in the group had to say and all of that, and how he felt Mel showed her true colors. And I was saying, how so, right? They've been talking about Martell and Mel and what their thoughts are on the situation. Now, granted, I don't feel like I ever heard Maurice say anything disparaging about Mel, but they definitely there's been a lot of talk about Mel and her relationship, her marriage, her divorce, all of that has always been a topic of conversation. So why is it that Maurice's DUI is so untouchable or can't be talked about? Outside of it being a legal situation that's still ongoing at the time of this filming, why is it a problem that Mel asked about, the lipstick rumors that was going around? And Kimmy had a lot of energy for Mel. She had a lot of rah energy for Mel and really for Carlos and anybody else. But you didn't have that energy for the man that didn't come home that night and got locked up. You don't have that energy for him. Now, maybe she did behind the scenes and she's doing her wifely duties of sticking beside him in public. But I just felt like her energy was misdirected and really should be directed towards Maurice, who got you in this situation to be questioned about this stuff in the first place. Do I think that Mel and probably other people convicted him before he was found guilty, which in this case he wasn't? Yes, I do think that, But when you read online that he was locked up for something, you tend to believe they wouldn't have locked him up if it wasn't the case. And if they had asked him, he wasn't going to give no information anyway. I don't think he would even gave anything offline, worried about it being leaked. So I just felt like she had a lot of energy and she's yelling and saying, it was talk about you having a bad butt job. We ain't talk about that. And every time, I take my little jokes about me on the chin, but when we do it to you, we got to come to you and pray and beg for your forgiveness. It was like, what are you talking about? She was just really on 10. I ain't gonna say I've never seen that from Kimmy, but coming off the season she had where she was recovering and going through her cancer treatment and Mel was there for her. It's like, if she could be there for you then and in that, and as a friend, she can ask you stuff. She can ask you questions. I didn't see why she was so upset. Now, I did feel disappointed in the conversation with Kimmy and Mel in the season when Kimmy came to her and said, look, if you know something, if why would you say that? I want to understand. I do feel like Mel paid her dust when the friendship was old more than that. I was disappointed by that, but it's kind of clear that, Mel said, listen, I'm just talking about things that are in the news. Kimmy's calling bullshit. Now, what I did call bullshit on was Mel saying, well, you had already said you didn't want to talk about him anymore or his DUI situation. So when you came to me to ask why would I say those things or why was I repeating what was in the blogs, I didn't want to talk about it. I just felt like in that moment that wasn't the truth. I really didn't. I felt like it was more so you didn't like the energy she was giving and you shut down, being Mel, that she shut down and didn't really want to talk about it. So I don't know. I don't know where this friendship goes from here. If it continues, I don't really think Mel is going to continue a friendship with any of them. If you ask me, I think she's going to move on and up where she's elevated above the show, honestly. No shade to the others, but she's elevated above as a businesswoman, as a woman of Christ. It's getting slim in the cast of people that have not had a mugshot. We saw Kim with a mugshot, Marquez with a mugshot, Maurice with a mugshot, Destiny with 2, 3, 4, 5 mugshots. So it's just, she's not in that space, I don't think, to be arguing and catty and get mug shots. She's just I wish her really all the best. But this first episode was really entertaining. If you haven't seen it, I hope I didn't spoil it all for you, but thank you for watching. But I look forward to part 2 and part 3 of this reunion. We still have Sunny who's going to come out. We have Trish and Ken that will come out. We'll, get into their stories and what's going on. But overall, usually part 1 start off a little slow with reunions, but this one really gave. I did. Carlos had me hollering, just hollering, and his back and forth with Kimmy on the whole DUI situation. And her like, is that your speculation? It was like, girl, where is this energy coming from? Take that up with Maurice. And he had the comebacks for her. So you will not play with Uncle Carlos King. I truly did enjoy it. So we'll look out for part 2 reunion next Saturday, and I'll be back with another recap on it. But those are my thoughts on Love and Marriage Huntsville season 5 reunion part 1. And another reminder, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you do not miss a thing. I will be back with another Tea Talk later today on Real Housewives of Potomac and Married to Medicine. So make sure you check that out. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Before I get out of here, as I always say, reality TV stars are humans too. Don't forget that. It is your girl V with Reality Recap. Y'all have a good Monday. Peace.